Hi guys, it's Wednesday night, close to 11:30. I just got home, changed into some PJs. It was a really long day today. Like, it was really taxing, really long. Probably the toughest day that my mom has had, health-wise, and just like physically. When I got to the hospital today, my aunts were there visiting her. She seemed to be doing pretty good. They had scheduled her to have a biopsy today, and we had talked to the doctor yesterday, to one of the oncologists, and today when my aunts were there, the doctor who was going to do the procedure came in to talk to us. And so my mom was, I think more nervous than anything. We have a friend who also has cancer and kind of talked to her about the biopsy, I don't know, probably 2, maybe 3 months ago, and kind of explained to her, as well as I explained to her kind of what to expect. The doctor was really thorough, made sure she knew completely what was going to happen, and then he left. So my aunts left so my mom could prepare for this procedure, and basically, in the middle of the preparation for the biopsy, the nurse came in with all this contrast and told her that she needed that as well. And I thought that a little strange. That's usually done for scans. But she started prepping, I guess it was a little bit afternoon, probably like 10, or 12:10. They brought in 2 larger bottles of the contrast. They were probably, I want to say they were about 24 ounces. And then another contrast that they dilute with some water. And she set them up, marked everything with kind of the times that my mom had to have the contrast by. And, by her figures, my mom should be ready by 2 o'clock. So she left. My mom was able to pretty much drink the first of the larger bottles of contrast. It's not the best tasting thing, but it's also not the worst. I remember it from my dad. It's kind of milky. I think they brought her like a blueberry flavor. And it wasn't terrible. She was watching TV, drinking it, we were talking. When she took the first cup of the diluted contrast, it just did not agree with her at all. Almost immediately, like, she was throwing it up. Couldn't get her up into the bathroom, like, quick enough. It required about 3 nurses to come in, and the cleaning crew, and I don't know who all. And she got real sore from that. So she put it down, and, they called CT, and, they called down to where they get the scans done. And, turns out the nurse gave her too much contrast. So they were supposed to do one or the other, which I remember from, past experience, that's generally what happens, but the nurse was very adamant when she came in the first time. So we laid my mom back down, and, again, I was confused. I kept asking, like, why is she taking this contrast? She's supposed to be having a biopsy, here at 1 o'clock. What's going on? And the nurse seemed to not know, I guess. So she left, and our doctor from earlier came in and brought in all the equipment to do the biopsy, and he let me stay in so I could see what was going on, which is always really interesting, seeing procedures like that. I really, as weird as it sounds, I really enjoy seeing that, and it was neat to see all of the slides they made from her samples. So they came in. I was kind of worried because my mom had to lay down, but, the doctor made her really comfortable on her side. He was amazing. He had so many patients and was so calm and just really, really amazing. So when he had come in earlier, he had explained everything to her, told her exactly what to expect. And so when he came back, he definitely talked her through it. And like I said, I asked, do you want me to leave? And he was perfectly comfortable with me being there, which made me more comfortable. And he talked her through it. They got a really good sample, and I was able to watch the assistant make the slides and kind of, collect everything that they needed to collect. The only issue that they had is they couldn't actually get a bone sample. Her bones are just too brittle and weak at this point, and the doctor is really concerned about that. So he's, going to consult a couple of people to see what's going on, and just kind of, evaluate why she's having all these fractures, why she's in so much pain. So that procedure went by, I guess, how do you say it, like, without any complications, without anything too crazy. My mom wasn't in a lot of pain. They gave her a lot of local anesthesia for that. She did really good. She tolerated that really well. They even had her lay on her back for about 10 or 15 minutes afterwards, and she didn't seem to have any bleeding. She did really well. And towards the end of the procedure, when they were still trying to collect a bone sample, someone came to pick her up to take her down to have a scan that we had no clue about. So that explained why she was having the contrast earlier. So basically, when she was done and the doctor had laid her there, and he walked out and he told us he'd be back in 10 minutes, the nurse came in and was like, oh, okay, we haven't done what we need to start the contrast again. So you have your choice. So definitely my mom was not going to have the diluted one. It made her sick. So she tried the other one. They had to reschedule her scans because she had to have this contrast again, which usually takes about 2 hours to get down. They kind of time it out. So they get 4 cups and they divide the bottle into the 4 cups. And you have like 15 minutes to drink each cup. That's generally how they do it so that you don't get nauseous. My mom just was not, I don't know, like that stuff just was not working for her. So it probably took her close to 3.5, 4 hours to get the 2 bottles down. She still didn't completely get the last bottle down, but they took her down for a scan anyway. And I know she was nervous because I had no clue what they were doing. I didn't know what kind of scan they were doing. They didn't tell us. She got downstairs. They gave her some more contrast through her IV, and she had to have another scan. The scan was for her belly. When she came back up, she was in so much pain. It was definitely worse than yesterday, and yesterday was pretty bad when they took her down. And basically what they're looking for is she's had, I probably would say, about a 60-pound weight loss, maybe a little bit more than that in the past year. Most of her weight loss coming in the last 6 months. I would say well over 50 pounds have been lost in 6 months. And there's not really an explanation for it. I mean, like, her height is, she's definitely shrinking, but that can be attributed to the fractures in her back. She's just weaker in general, and they're trying to figure it out. So, like with my dad, I understand one of the things that they look for is the problems in your GI. So the scan today was basically looking for anything abnormal. I mean, she's so thin now that if it was a tumor like on her leg or anywhere, it would be clearly visible, like her belly, anything, like, would be clearly visible because she has lost so much weight. So the last few things they look for, things are like in your belly, in your GI. And so we should have these results tomorrow morning when the doctor comes to see her. And just kind of, I think if they see anything abnormal, they want her to have a colonoscopy anyway, but if they see anything abnormal, that's definitely on the agenda before she is released from the hospital. I don't anticipate they're going to do anything tomorrow. My mom was just in so much pain today, and she's exhausted. I mean, like, today was a major day. It was probably the worst day she's had in this illness, and to sit there and watch her just kind of suffer and be in pain, and there's not really a whole lot you can do. It takes me back to when I took care of my dad, and to see him in the kind of pain that he would get in, and you can't do anything. You can just kind of be there and support them, and as they're throwing up, hold the basin, get them paper towels, get them ice chips, try and make them comfortable. And it was just so difficult. So when she got back from the scans, my mom was in so much pain we couldn't get her out of the wheelchair. It took her probably 15 minutes to kind of, get enough strength to let us help her up, and then, get her to kind of semi-sit kind of a position, because she was just in so much pain. We left her like that. They were able to give her some medication through her IV, and they brought her some muscle relaxers. And I would say probably close to 7. They had me order her some dinner because she hadn't eaten since 8 o'clock in the morning. So I ordered dinner, and they brought her some soup and a grilled cheese and some jelly. It was kind of just a plain kind of, nothing fancy. She was not hungry. She was exhausted. She hurt. Probably about 7:30, I got her somewhat comfortable. The medication started working. She decided she was gonna, have a little bit of soup. And literally all the soup had in it was like a chicken broth. It had some potatoes, celery, carrots, and onions, I believe. She might have had 2 bites, and literally all of that contrast from today was coming out. And it happened to occur during the shift change. So we had a pretty good nurse today, but I will say that the night nurse was amazing. Like, she totally stepped up to the plate and, got my mom everything that she could need, was paging the doctor to see if they could get some anti-nausea meds because there was nothing on file for her. There was yesterday, but not today. Trying to figure out why they hadn't done a saline kind of basic flush when she returned. And she just was on it. My mom was pretty nauseous probably for like the next hour. Did not want to eat anything. Took a couple of ice chips, and that was basically it. Like, all her medication had come up from earlier. All of that contrast, it was horrible. So we got her back, comfortable. They brought some more medication for her through her IV. We positioned her a little bit differently in the bed, and she probably slept for about 2 hours, I guess. The nurse did come in, I don't even remember, probably like 9:30, to come, bring her nighttime meds, take her vitals, that kind of deal. So we had to wake her up. She wasn't, too with it. They gave her medication. She counted the pills. She knew how many pills she was taking. She knew what it was. And basically, we gave her another pillow. She laid on her side and went to sleep. So from what happened today, I'm anticipating tomorrow she's going to be extremely sore. Probably hurting quite a bit. I mean, they basically told her that she would be feeling the biopsy for, 6 to 10 days. Just because of what it was. And then anytime she goes for a scan, it just kills her and it hurts for days. So I'm anticipating that she's going to be hurting tomorrow. It's going to be a slower day. If they find anything abnormal in the scan, they want to do a colonoscopy, but I don't think that she's up to it for tomorrow. They want to do it before she's released. I don't know. I really don't know if, she has enough in her. So I'll be back in a minute to talk to you a little bit more.